Hey, how you doing? It's your old buddy Deplorable Jazz McKay here in Bakersfield, California. And I was thinking about, oh, by the way, my carry weapon today, Ruger SR9C. This is a great gun. I love this little guy. Got the extended mag a while back, 17 plus one. We're not allowed. We're supposedly not allowed to have what I call normal capacity magazines. The elites here in California, especially Gavin freaking Newsom, like to call them high capacity. 17 plus one in the chamber, that means 17 in the mag. We were able to get them, though, during something called Freedom Week, when a judge ruled that the magazine ban was unconstitutional, and before they were able to file an appeal, well, we had 7 days or 8 days, I think it was, to buy normal average capacity magazines. Normally in California, only carry 10 rounds. I like having the 17. This is, by the way, of course, a 9 millimeter. Great little weapon. I enjoy this gun. It's a lot of fun to shoot. Unfortunately, it's not on the California approved list anymore. For some reason, it was unapproved. Well, what happened was Ruger didn't want to go through the mess of reevaluating. I have to do them every couple of years. Anyway, so today, I want to talk about rock and roll and the intolerance of the rock and roll movement. Rock and roll is very closed-minded, very intolerant, especially the punk rock movement. I mean, there was a time when rock and roll and punk rock, it was, well, in punk, you got to understand, where punk rock came along in the mid-1970s was due to the hugeness of rock and roll. It became too big and pretentious, so to bring it back down to earth, punk rock sort of evolved. It was created as a sort of a counterculture movement that rejected all the societal norms and encouraged individuality and free expression. It prided itself, the punk rock movement did, and I think this is true of early rock and roll, but it prided itself on challenging authority, giving the middle fucking finger to those that would push you around. I mean, we questioned the status quo. I was in the punk rock movement in those early days, and punk rock provided us a platform as working class kids to speak freely and criticize the elites. Yes, I was a punk rocker. Look at me now. Big, fat, ugly fucking guy with a gray beard. Take a look at the way, this is me back in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. You can see that's me. I was the lead singer. I had a band. I was in San Jose at the time and had a band called Eat the Rich. And that's us there. And yeah, it was a fun time. We recorded an album or two and had a bit of a following. You can still find some of our stuff on YouTube. But here's the thing about punk rock. It used to be an alternative. However, in recent years, punk rock has become, shall we say, less receptive to dissenting opinions. That's a nice way of putting it. They've become less receptive to alternative viewpoints, and instead of rebelling against the elites, the punk rock movement, just like with practically all forms of entertainment, has embraced the elites. All right? The irony of all of this lies in the fact that a movement which was rooted originally in rebellion and nonconformity has now closed itself off to other ideas, closed itself off from the working class. Now, I happen to follow Sherry Curry, and we follow each other on X. And Sherry Curry was the lead singer of the Runaways, great LA punk band back in the mid-1970s. Saw her and Lita Ford and Joan Jett. I got a Joan Jett story. One of these days I'll tell you my Joan Jett story. It's actually kind of funny. We had an encounter with Joan Jett at the Whiskey A Go-Go back in about 1977 or so. But anyway, that's another story. Sherry Curry posted something I want you to take a look at, all right? This was on her X account just the other day. It used to be punk or rock and roll to vote Democrat. I fell for it. But when your party demands that you live in fear, squalor, beyond your means by just buying groceries, gasoline, disrespecting our veterans, our police, our elderly, and supporting criminals, chaos, riots, and Hamas, and failing Israel, demeaning us at every turn, hurting our children, wasting our money, ineptitude with every policy, lies and more lies. No more. The Democrat Party can kiss my ass. They don't give a damn. That's true. Voting Democrat used to be cool, but now it just makes you a fool. Amen, Sherry Curry. Yeah, baby. Couldn't have said it better myself. Punk rock, which once championed open-mindedness and welcomed diverse voices, has become polarized and intolerant of any perspective that does not align with the current leftist ideological or political leanings. And it's irritating me to no end. I mean, we had a few guys like Johnny Ramone, Dee Ramone, Billy Zoom from X, the band, not the social media site. Bobby Steele from the Misfits, Dwayne Peters, Nick Cave. We had bands like Forgotten Rebels. And then there was Agnostic Front. And not to mention John Lydon. He said, I never thought. Now, I got to do this in Johnny's voice. I never thought I'd live to see the day when the right wing would become the cool ones, giving the middle finger to the establishment, and the left wing becoming the sniveling, self-righteous, twatty ones going around shaming everybody. Yeah, Johnny! Amen, my brother. I mean, look, punk rock, which once championed open-mindedness and welcomed diversity of voices, if I can use a woke term, the diversity of voices. Punk rock has become polarized and intolerant of anybody's perspective that does not align with their particular Marxist, ideological, leftist, political leanings. And frankly, that's fucked up. The utter closed-mindedness of the current wave of punk and rock and roll in general really is completely counter to the very essence of what rock and roll is all about, in particular punk rock, which historically has celebrated the freedom of thought and has encouraged individuals to challenge all forms of authority, including the prevailing narratives within the movement itself. But you can't do that anymore. I've been on a few of these punk rock group, what is it? The Facebook has got these punk rock groups that I tried chiming in and talking to some of these guys. They're blithering fucking idiots. I swear to God. And the irony of this whole thing lies in the fact that that a movement that fought against conformity and encouraged individual thought is now enforcing its own set of rigid beliefs and is shuttering out any other dissent. You know what? Sherry Curry is absolutely right. Used to be cool to vote for a Democrat. Today, it makes you a fucking fool. God bless America and death to the New World Order. Thanks for watching our red, white, and rude video. And be sure and share it to help us build the channel. Also, don't forget to follow me on X, Facebook, and Truth Social, as well as both YouTube and Rumble. And visit the website, thedeplorablepatriot.com. Thanks again, and God bless America and death to the New World Order.